going to talk strictly about RTB. So I'll start off with some very simple definitions. So what is RTB? What is real-time bidding? So this is a very, very fast-growing, important trend that anyone who's doing media buying needs to be aware of. It's a method of selling and buying online ads at scale at a per-impression level using data and algorithm optimization of the buy. So what this means is that you can be very, very targeted with your ad buying. So a little sense of how fast this is actually growing. We saw RTB spending double in 2011, and it's predicted to double again in 2012. So we're talking about $6.4 billion by 2015. eMarketer is expecting that by 2015, 27% of all digital media will be purchased RTB. So this is something we all definitely need to be aware of if we're agencies or brands that are doing any kind of media buying. So some more definitions to kind of bring you into the space. We talk a lot about audiences. So audiences are the people that we'd like to display ads to. And then inventory websites, mobile apps now that you'd like your ads to serve on. So we're talking about multiple devices now when we're speaking to inventory. And then the ad exchange is technology that facilitates buying and selling between multiple ad networks. So when we talk about creative, we have a lot of different options. We're not just talking about banner ads when we refer to RTB. Currently, we have mobile app exchanges that are currently RTB enabled. We have flash banners that can be very dynamic with video in the ad units. We even have hosted text RTB, expandables. So a lot of different types of content to choose from that you can purchase algorithmically. And we're all familiar with how it worked in the past. Those of us that did media buying before relied a lot on things like buying clout and who you know. So the way this is changing things kind of looks like this. Where previously you had to do some guesswork on placements, now you can make really data-driven decisions about how you buy. And there's some types of data that we found to perform really, really high, especially inventory data for advertisers. It gives you a really good return on ad spend. So I'll talk about that a little later when I dive into targeting. With regards to margins, we're actually doing bidding, so we can set bidding controls similar to AdWords and RTB, and have a lot of control over how much we're paying for each different segment that we're buying. And then instead of buying in 1K blocks, obviously impression level buying, and a lot of this is automated, so we can set all sorts of constraints within our campaign to determine exactly how the buy is to be executed. So we're no longer just buying specific inventory, we're now buying audiences. And this is a really important differentiator. We can advertise across a lot of different devices, and we can actually buy audiences opposed to just inventory. And this brings us to basically a new invention, a business model called the trading desk. And this is what VISISEEK is, where you're accessing all sorts of different ad networks, a lot of different inventory through one provider. It's essentially an agency that focuses on RTB. And the ecosystem has gotten pretty complicated to the point that a trading desk can really help agencies and brands to decipher what works and doesn't work from an RTB's perspective. So dive a little bit into how you can actually use some of the unique targeting that comes with RTB that can enable your campaigns to be more efficient and drive up return on ad spend. So I'll dive first into remarketing. And some of you may or may not be familiar with this technology. Really simplified. Visitor comes to your website. They might be on an e-commerce site and enter the shopping cart, but they don't complete the purchase. They go off the website, browse around the internet. It's very likely that we're able to see a website in the exchange that they visit. We then target them with an ad, hopefully remind them and bring them back to the website, maybe through a coupon code if it's e-commerce. So you can get a little bit more advanced with remarketing, and some of the more advanced techniques employ stuff like matching your ads and creative with where they actually visited on the website. So let's go back to the e-commerce example. So they visited certain products. Maybe we want to display those products in the ad units. Maybe they visited within a certain time frame. So we want to show different ads. Let's suppose you go to VISISEEK, and I don't know why you do this, but you leave VISISEEK and you go off and you're browsing the web. You're on the Los Angeles Times and you're surfing an ad. This is kind of a joke example just to show how frequency-based remarketing works. So this might display 0 to 1 days after visit. maybe 2 to 3 days, we show you a different ad, and then 3 to 5 days, you see something like this. So this can, obviously there's a lot of creative that needs to be thought through, but you do have the capability to do this with a more advanced remarketing. And it kind of changes the landscape of how you do media buying, where you can really target your buy based on how long it's been since they visited your web property.